In a bustling city, there lived a wealthy man named Chief Adewale and his wife, Madam Titi. They were a respected couple, known for their successful businesses and large mansion. But despite their wealth and status, they carried a deep sadness in their hearts. Chief Adewale and Madam Titi had 4 beautiful daughters, Bimpe, Funmi, Kemi,
and the youngest, Tola.
The 3 older daughters were all married, but none of them had been able to bear children for their husbands, despite being married for several years. This worried Chief Adewale and his wife greatly, as they longed to become grandparents. Each of their daughters had visited the best doctors, tried various treatments, and even prayed fervently, but nothing worked. People in the community began to whisper, wondering why a family so blessed with wealth was cursed with childlessness. Chief Adewale, though disappointed, continued to support his daughters, hoping that one day, their prayers would be answered. Meanwhile, Tola, their youngest daughter, was in her 2nd year at university. She was smart and driven, but like many young women, she had a secret. Tola had fallen in love with a fellow student, a boy named David. Their relationship was innocent at first, but as time went on, they became more involved. One day, Tola discovered that she was pregnant. Panic set in immediately. How can I tell my parents? Tola thought, tears running down her cheeks. She knew how much her father cherished his name and reputation, and she feared that if he found out, he would disown her. David, her boyfriend, was equally frightened. He knew Chief Adewale's power and influence in the city, and he wasn't ready to face the wrath of a man of such stature. In his fear, David disappeared without a word, leaving Tola heartbroken and alone. For weeks, Tola hid her secret. She skipped classes and withdrew from her friends, unsure of what to do. But as the months passed, it became harder to hide her growing belly. Eventually, she had no choice but to confess to her parents. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, Tola sat her parents down one evening. "Mama, Papa, I have something to tell you," she began, her voice barely a whisper. "I'm pregnant." There was a long silence. Tola couldn't bear to look at their faces. She braced herself for anger, for shouting, for disappointment. But to her surprise, when she finally looked up, she saw tears in her mother's eyes, not of anger, but of joy. Her father's face was lit with a wide smile. "Oh, Tola," Madam Titi cried, hugging her daughter tightly. "This is wonderful news. You've given us the greatest gift." Tola was stunned. You're not angry." "Angry?" Chief Adewale chuckled. "No, my dear, we are overjoyed. After all these years, we will finally become grandparents. This child is a blessing." Tola could hardly believe her ears. The fear and shame she had carried for months melted away, replaced by relief and happiness. Her parents were not only accepting but thrilled at the news of her pregnancy. As the days passed, Chief Adewale and Madam Titi couldn't stop talking about the baby. They started planning for the child's arrival, buying gifts and decorating a room in their mansion for their future grandchild. But one thing still bothered Chief Adewale: the whereabouts of David, the boy who had fathered the child. Determined to do the right thing, Chief Adewale launched a search for David. His contacts and influence spread far, and it wasn't long before David was found, living in fear and shame. When he was brought before Chief Adewale, the young man trembled, expecting the worst. But instead of anger, Chief Adewale embraced him warmly. "Young man, you have nothing to fear," Chief Adewale said. "You are the father of my grandchild, and I welcome you into our family. From today on, you are my son." David was shocked. He had expected punishment, but instead, he was met with kindness. Chief Adewale even went as far as making David his next of kin, a gesture that cemented his place in the family. David, moved by the chief's generosity, promised to take responsibility for Tola and their unborn child. As the months went on, Tola gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The joy in Chief Adewale's household was immeasurable. The baby brought new life and happiness to the family, and the once quiet mansion was filled with laughter and celebration. However, the mystery of why Chief Adewale's other daughters remained childless still lingered. One day, out of curiosity, Madame Titi sat down with her daughters and gently asked them if there was something from their past they had never shared. After some hesitation, Bimpe, the eldest daughter, broke down in tears. She confessed that when she was a teenager, she had gotten pregnant and, out of fear of disappointing her parents, she had secretly had an abortion. Funmi and Kemi, the other two daughters, also admitted to having done the same in their youth.